What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over more tips for the zero build mode. If you haven't seen my other videos like this one, they will be linked down in the description below, but I have several videos going over tips for the zero build mode that help you get more kills and win more in this game mode. If you guys do enjoy the video or find it helpful, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what your favorite location to land at has been so far this season. For me, it's between Jones's and Shifty Shafts. Probably those have been like my two favorite places to land. But the first thing that you want to do in the zero build mode, this is probably the most important, essential piece of advice I can give you for the zero build mode, is going to be controlling whatever spot in zone is the most powerful. That's typically going to be high ground locations like mountains, the blimp, or just areas that have an insane amount of cover. If you control these mountains, the blimps, the drill and fortress, whatever the most advantageous position is in zone, if you control it, not only are you stopping other people from controlling it, so you don't have to play against it, which is really nice, but you're going to be able to rack up a lot of kills really fast in this game mode. I should have some gameplay showing off this on screen now. I just use the fortress drill to my advantage and then go up to the mountain and end up winning the game there. Just whatever is in zone that is like the best spot to be, you want to control it and then punish the other players. And this can oftentimes be more important than anything else because the shooting mechanics in this game are so simple. So most fights are just really going to come down to whoever has the best cover piece or the best spot on the map, or whoever has first shot. There's really not much else that goes into it because of how easy the weapons are to use in Fortnite. So if you put yourselves in the right spot consistently, you're going to do good in this mode. It's pretty much the only thing that matters. The next thing is just going to be like kind of the inverse of that, is you want to reduce how much time that you're just walking out in the open in this mode, because that's the easiest way to die. If someone gets first shot on you and you're in a field and there's not very much cover, or if you're really far from cover and if you have to sprint to it and give them even more time to shoot at you, there's not really much that you can do to counter it if you don't have mobility items. So you want to spend as little time running around as possible, and cars are going to be really good for this. I see a lot of people that are newer to the game try to just keep as low of a profile as possible and like stay hidden the entire game, and they don't want to use cars because it makes noise. But cars are your friend. The less time that you're traveling in an open area, the better. And cars might get you focused, but they also do give you some sort of protection. It is hard for some players to shoot you out of the car, and then you can also use the car as mobile cover if it comes down to it. You can throw cow catchers on the car, and this will allow you to destroy like trees, rocks, buildings. You can ram through pretty much anything with the cow catchers. And if you put the tires on the car, this allows you to go faster and have, I think, better handling in off-road situations. So when you go to get a car, if you see either cow catchers or tires, you probably want to go ahead and put them on your car. It's going to make it even better, and the less time that you're out in the open, the better. You can also use the cannons for this. Pretty much everywhere I land, I have set rotations to where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to X car, I'm going to go to this cannon and then shoot myself here. And if you watch me on stream, I stream every day on Twitch. It'll be linked down in the description below. You could see how I do this, and pretty much success in the zero build mode, I feel like, comes down to controlling the best spot and limiting how frequently you're out in the open and exposed. And cars and the cannons are going to be really good for that because they are really, really effective pieces of mobility. And the less time you're out in the open, the less likely it is you'll get shot and caught off guard, the more likely it is you succeed. So take advantage of cars, take advantage of the cannons, and try to control the good spots as much as you can. Before you get in the car, you're probably going to want to switch to your shotgun or your SMG, whatever your close range weapon is. That way, if you are in a situation where you have to get out of your car and immediately fight somebody, you have the right weapon for it. There definitely are times where you might have to get out of your car and AR somebody mid-range, but if that's the case, it's likely less imperative and you have the time to switch back to your AR than if you get out and somebody's right on you and then you have to shotgun them. So I always switch to my close range weapon before I get into a car. Another thing that you can do in this mode that a lot of people don't know is if you have the like super sprint or the tactical sprint, whatever you want to call it, the extra sprint they added this season, if you're doing that, there's a delay between being able to do that and shoot your gun right away. But if you break your sprint with a slide, you can actually shoot right away. You don't have to worry about that delay. So if you're ever sprinting and then you have to get into a fight, just slide and then you'll be able to shoot much faster. This is something I've gotten asked about several times. That's why I decided to include it, because I thought it was like super like just natural and common. But I have had people like watch my stream and ask like, how are you shooting right away after sprinting? And it just comes down to sliding. If you interrupt your sprint with a slide, you can shoot right away. If you try to interrupt your sprint by shooting, there's a delay. So you basically can use sliding to get around the delay. The next thing I see a lot of people mess up on in this game mode is when they shot, they just try to cower in a corner and heal, or if they're getting held by somebody that's like holding them in zone, they try to just not do anything to that opponent and just like heal or just hide behind cover or whatever. And then I often see people who do this like talking like, God, focus somebody else or stop paying attention to me. If you don't give people a reason to stop focusing you, they're just going to keep spraying you. So if you're getting shot by somebody, you need to actually shoot them back and put some pressure back on them. That way you can actually get your heals off. So there could be times where you could just get the heals off fine. But if you're fighting someone who's just constantly spraying you, you're probably going to need to shoot them back. And a lot of times when that happens, those people are just going to completely give up on focusing you because a lot of people in this game are so scared to fight. So if you have somebody on a blimp spraying you, just running from them and trying to hide from them probably isn't going to be the best bet. It can be awkward to shoot back on people on the blimps or on mountains, but if you're able to get good shots on them and potentially crack their shield or hit them with like a headshot from the AUG, a lot of times they're going to back off and they're going to give you the time you need to like get into zone or heal yourself, whatever you have to do. If you don't put pressure back on people, they're not going to like leave you alone is what I'm saying. And a lot of times in medium range fights, you can catch people off guard with this. If someone gets first shots on you and then you go behind cover, a lot of people will just think that you're healing and then they'll just start sprinting at you to try to get closer to get that kill. And in this time you can start frying them because as we just talked about, if they're sprinting, they can't shoot back. So if you go behind cover, you can kind of see around yourself because the game is third person. If you see them sprinting at you, just start frying them with your AUG or switch to your SMG and start frying them. And this will like catch them off guard. It'll get you the damage you need on them to potentially win that fight. And it'll just probably get them off of you because then they're going to go to behind cover to heal. And then you can pop the heals you need to pop yourself. So pressure is like super important in Fortnite, especially in the zero build mode because there isn't that much that goes into fights. And getting first shot is so advantageous. And if you don't shoot back at people, they're probably just going to have the pressure on you and they're going to end up getting the kill. So you need to actually shoot back at people. It's crazy how many times I fight people in this game mode that seem to like not understand that at all. If you have people hiding in bushes, there's lots of things that can destroy the bushes. If you throw a shockwave grenade in there, which I highly recommend carrying, I think shockwaves are really good for this mode. But if someone's camping in a bush and you throw a shockwave in it, it'll knock them out of the bush and destroy the bush. Cow catchers typically destroy the bush when thrown into it, but sometimes they don't. They can be a little inconsistent, but you can also use the cow catchers to destroy bushes. Frag grenades, fireflies, the boom sniper, so any explosive really, the anvil rocket launcher, pretty much any explosive that exists in the game, you can use those to destroy bushes. And the fireflies are actually like really prevalent on the map in random areas. So if you have somebody camping in a bush that's being a problem for you, try to see if there's any fireflies nearby and you can throw that and force them out of the bush. And oftentimes those people camping in bushes aren't very good at the game and that's why they're camping in bushes. So if you're able to like do something to displace them or like interrupt how they're playing, they oftentimes aren't that good at responding to it and it's just going to be a free kill for you. Off spawn or pretty much anytime you're fighting in an area with a lot of buildings, you want to use the mantling and the climbing to your advantage as much as possible. High ground is like really advantageous in Fortnite, and if you're fighting somebody, being on the rooftop or like climbing on the rooftop, not only can it catch them off guard, but it's oftentimes going to present you an angle that's really good for you. And there's so many fights I get in off spawn or early game where just using the mantling to my advantage gets me easy kills. So make sure you're abusing that as much as possible. And if you do like sprint jump, you can oftentimes mantle onto stuff further away. And this also will catch people off guard. So master the movement as much as you can and try to abuse it, especially in the places that you like to land at. If you land at the same few spots consistently, learn like what buildings you can mantle on and like how you can use those in fights. And once you like have those tactics down, you'll be able to like rinse and repeat and use them in pretty much every fight you get in at that POI. Just use the mantling, use the sliding, use the sprinting. These movement options are here in the game for a reason. You want to like become as good as you can get with them and like get used to abusing them in fights, because that can be the difference between you surviving a fight, getting a kill, or just dying and going back to the lobby if you're not able to take advantage of it. With the recent shotgun update, I feel like the striker pump is by far the best shotgun in this game mode. It does kind of depend on skill. You need to actually be able to hit your shots consistently with this gun. But before this update, the drum shotgun was just way too good, and it was by far the best shotgun. But now I think the striker pump combat SMG combo is incredibly good. And if you time this right, you can pump somebody, switch to your SMG, shoot them a few times, and then when your striker pump is ready to shoot again, switch back to it and hit them with the finishing blow. It will take some time to get used to, like to know that timing perfectly, especially if you're someone who just started playing the game this season. You probably haven't used the striker pump very much, but learn the timing on like how long it takes in between striker pump shots, and you'll be able to kill people incredibly fast with the striker pump SMG combo. This alone has made the game mode so much more fun for me. Like the drum shotty was good, but it was never really that fun to use. So I'm really happy that they ended up buffing the striker pump and Striker Pump Combat SMG combo is incredibly lethal. You need to take advantage of it as much as you can. The next thing, this is like difficult to explain, but if you have somebody running, like this is going to be a common issue where somebody's running from you or flying away from you, for example, you want to lead on the side of them in the direction they're traveling. So if you have someone running from left to right, you want to try to stay on the right side of their body. That way, if you miss it all, they'll run into the shots because the rest of their body is progressing towards your crosshair. And then same with people flying. If someone's diving straight down, you want to aim like towards their head. That way the bullets that miss end up going into their body or legs. So when you have someone evading you, try to lead on the side of their body in the direction they're going. That way the rest of their body is to the left of your crosshair and they're going into the rest of your crosshair. It's going to make it much easier to like hit those shots at long range. The guns are hit scan, but obviously it can be difficult to track people at long range. So pretty much you always want to be in the habit of leading on the side of them that they're progressing towards, if that makes any sense. I know it can be difficult to explain, but hopefully I had some clips on screen of me shooting some people out of the sky to kind of demonstrate that. Another thing that you can do in this game that's incredibly valuable that I've seen people comment on my streams is that you can use the pinging system to like see what's in zone. So if you ping the ground, that puts a little indicator on your mini map, and I oftentimes use that to try to predict or try to see what is going to be in zone when like the rotation comes. That way I already know the spot I want to play before we even come down to moving. So just ping the ground where you think might be in zone. You'll see a little indicator on your mini map and you'll see whether or not the spot you pinged is in zone, and then you can adjust accordingly and you'll be able to know exactly where you want to go or what is going to be in zone before you're able to, before you even have to rotate. And that is going to make it so much easier. If you're rotating and everything is just kind of on the fly and you don't really know exactly where you're going to go, it's going to be way more likely that things don't go well for you or that you get caught off guard by some like unfortunate circumstance. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys found it helpful, informative, whatever, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, comment down below the spots you like to land. I'm interested to see what you guys think. And if you want to watch me live stream on Twitch, it'll be linked down in the description down below. Thanks for watching.